Hey Chain Gang, TGIF. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I'm hopping on here to share with you what I've been working on over the past 48 hours and also just breaking down what I'm doing into a more general formula for how you can go for your big goal, whatever that may be. So the reason why I say that is because I'm going for some pretty big, pretty crazy goals this month to make it happen to get to Mexico. And when you hear what my plan is and what I've been doing, you might think, wow, that's a little bit crazy. And that might not fit with your goal and your time that you're willing to invest in your business. So I want to just put that out there right now that it doesn't matter what your goal is. They're all amazing, right? So you might not be going for Mexico, but maybe you are going for $500 in sales, so you can make $120 and $50 in free product credit. Maybe you're going for $1,000 for the first time ever, and to you, that feels like a really big push goal. That's amazing. So I'm going to break it down for you how you can reach those goals too. And you know what? Maybe you're not really working your gig this month because you're focusing on other priorities in your life, but you're still loving the product and the discount and you're just hopping by to see what's going on here. You are appreciated too. So let me dive into what I've been working on in the past 48 hours and how I have booked 4 online style sessions. So like I said, I have a really big goal. I want to earn that trip to Mexico. And before Double Points was announced, I did not think that it was going to be in the cards. So now that this Double Points opportunity is here, I am just of the mindset that like I'm going to leave it all on the table and push myself. And whether I make it or not, I'm going to know that I left it all on the field and I put my best effort out there. And that's to me how I feel the best about going for a goal. So I need about 8,500 in sales to get to my goal, which I've done big months in sales like that before, but I've usually had a good game plan going into the month with style sessions booked and feeling pretty confident that I'd be able to fill the gap with those personal sales. So I'm looking at a little bit of a different landscape this time. You know, this is just kind of setting the back story for all of you. Of course, you know, I've moved within the past year, so my network is still being rebuilt locally. So I'm coming at this with a really different approach. But I love knowing that I can calculate what action that I'm going to put in, focus on that, and then be confident that the results are going to come. Also, know that I'm probably going to have to go for a plan B, a plan C. There's a lot of letters in the alphabet, so I can anticipate some of those obstacles that might come up. So I am, with that really big goal, I'm approaching it from 2 different strategies. One is focusing on one-to-one sales with my current customers, and then the other is online trunk shows so that I can get in front of new people and really expand my network and not be limited geographically. I'm not really focusing on the in-home shows for this goal, even though normally I always would love an in-person show. It's the highest dollars per hour. It's getting you in front of the most people. It's always, you know, that better quality time of sales. But I have been reaching out over the past month or 2 to book in-home shows, and I'm kind of getting to the end of my list. So I'm also, aside from my goal for long-term growth of my business, going to some different networking events and focusing on meeting new people, but that's just an aside. So to get about 8,500 in sales, I'm going to break it down by our average order size. Our average order size is $100 in sales, so I'm going to break down that 8,500 by that amount. So I need about 85 orders this month. All right, so next question is to ask myself, where are those different orders going to come from? And like I said, you know, it could be from those in-person style sessions. Those are about, on average, 10 orders, or online shows, average 5 orders, or those one-to-one orders. So you calculate your plan that scales with your goal. For me, I'm going to focus, and I want to build a cushion for myself because like I said, I'm going to anticipate those obstacles. So I'm going to anticipate that I'm going to go for 10 online style sessions, guessing that maybe some of them are going to be flops and not go as I expect. And then I'm also pushing for one-to-one sales as well. So I'm kind of just doing both of those things. Like I'm doubling down and doing double the effort, hoping that, you know, if I do that, the plan's going to come into place and mesh together. So I'm focusing on reaching out to 900 people this month to offer them online shows and to focus on offering them the sale, really highlighting that getaway bag and the fun challenge that we talked about the other day of selling a getaway bag in every single state. If we sell a getaway bag in every single state, you guys, that's about $7,000 in sales. So that would really, really make a huge impact towards my goal. You know that you're going to need to reach out to 10 for everyone. Yes, so that's where those numbers come from. And then break it down by the action and front load it. So I divided up that 900 reach outs by the numbers of days left in the month. And I actually took a few days out because I have my brother-in-law's wedding at the end of this month. So I'm not going to be really working on those days. And, you know, of course, by the time I was making this plan, this was 2 days ago. So it was already the third or fourth of the month. So I divided it up by the number of days left, and it would average out to about 40 reach outs a day. And again, you guys, this is doable for me because Stella Dot's my full-time job. So not only might this not be your goal, it might not fit into your schedule because you're doing Stella Dot on top of other things. So don't compare yourself to me. But if you do want to go for a really big goal like this and you want to make the time happen, I believe in you and I think you can. But if that's not your goal, that's okay. So I break it down by how much effort you need to do, and then front load, because we know that you're not going to hear back from most people on the first touch. So you want to push the first reach outs to the beginning so that you have time to cycle through those 3 follow-ups so that you actually are going to increase your chance of getting a response and getting a yes from people before the end of the month. I mean, if I'm reaching out to people for the first time on the 30th, that's probably not the best game plan. So what I set as the goal for myself this week was to do 200 reach outs. So I did 100 yesterday, I did 100 the day before, and from those 200 reach outs, that's where I booked those 4 online style sessions. I got probably 8 no's. I would have to go back and count. But that means that I got about 12 responses, period, out of 200 reach outs on the first touch. I haven't done any follow-ups yet. So I'm sure that from that big burst of effort, I'll end up booking more. And some of those no's I can tell are already going to lead to a sale because, you know, I'm sharing that I'm going for something big in June, would love to partner with them. I would love to give you some hostess rewards along the way. So some of them, even though they're saying, no, you know, June's not a good time, but I've been looking at, you know, the new arrivals and I would love to shop for a gift or something like that. So the effort that you put in is going to lead to the results. And that's how I booked those 4 online shows. I did a ton of effort and I had about a 2% response rate of yeses on the first touch. So scale that to your goal. Think about what that would look like for you. So let's break it down like this. This is just how to go for your June goal. So this will be a little bit of a repeat of how I just talked through my goal. But let's just use the example of $1,000 in sales for the month of June and break it down from there. So if you want to do 2,000, you know, double this. If you want to do 500, cut it in half. But this is a really great formula that you can use and that will hopefully help you know how to put in the effort to lead to those results that you want and just demystify the process. I know sometimes like you probably see huge numbers that people are selling or tons of trunk shows that you're doing and you're like, oh my gosh, what kind of magic does that girl have? Like she must have something that I don't have. And I'm here to tell you that the biggest shift for me in my personal business was when I stopped telling myself that story and replaced it with, if I want something that I've never had, I'm going to have to do something that I've never done. And if I want what this person has, I need to do the things that she does to get there. So learning a lot more. So I want to demystify that for you so you know crystal clear like what type of effort would go into whatever goal that you want to go for. I think this can also help you decide what goals you're willing to go for, right? Because you can think about what, you know, how much time do I have in my schedule? What am I willing to rearrange? Because there's going to be trade-offs, right? What am I willing to rearrange to make the time to make it happen? And then you can have a clear plan from there. So you don't have to feel like you're just going blind towards some random destination. So first thing you have to do is figure out what your goal is. Like, what's your number that you need in sales? And your goal might be an amount that you want to earn for the month. It might be a level that you want to hit for our monthly product credit rewards. It might be a number that you need to get to the next glam level. It might be any of those things. And if you are confused on how to figure that out, reach out to your upline, reach out to me, because I will love to help you break it down. So figure out what your number is so you have a clear destination. That's step one. And then step two is how many average orders that is. So we're going to use the example of 1,000 in sales. So if 1,000 in sales, if our average order size is $100, then that's 10 average orders. Okay, I feel like that already feels more manageable than thinking about the number 1,000, right? 10 sounds way easier than 1,000. What are your options? Okay, so a style session is going to be about 10 orders. An online style session will be about 5 orders. And then you can also reach out one-to-one. So make your combination, again, looking at your schedule, looking at how much time that you can allot to going for your goal. And then from there, reach out to 10 for every one yes. Right? So I think, again, layer in the 2. So let's say you want to do one, your goal is at 1,000. So you need those 10 orders, and your strategy is going to be to do 1 online style session and then reach out one-to-one to get 5 outside orders. I would tack on, adding in, either another online style session or double up the amount of reach outs that you're going to do for those one-to-one sales to build yourself a cushion, just so that you can plan ahead for those curveballs that are going to inevitably be thrown at you. So if you want to get 5 outside orders, you're going to have to reach out to 50 people. If you want to book 1 online show, you're going to have to reach out to 10. So you decide what that looks like for you. If you want to sell 1,000, you could reach out to 10 to book 1 online show. You could reach out to 10 to book 1 in-person show. You could reach out to 20 to book 2 in-person, to book 2 in online shows, or you could reach out to 100 people to sell one-on-one orders. So build in that plan, build your cushion, and then break up the action. If you need to reach out to 50 people and you have the whole rest of the month, why don't you do 10 a day every single day next week so that you can be done with all those 50 by the end of the week, and then you can start following up. And you have plenty of time to make their goal come to fruition before the month ends, so you're not scrambling at month end. So that's the action plan, but what's really important is to make sure that you plan and decide how you're going to celebrate your efforts. Of course, you always have your eyes on the prize of that end goal, but one thing in business, and in this business and any business really, is that you don't have control over the outcome. All that you can control is your efforts and your actions that you put into it, and then, trust the process that those results are going to come. But if you make the goal be your action, that's the thing that you have control over. So what are you going to do to celebrate? Is it going out to get a mani-pedi after you finish those 50 reach outs? Is it enjoying a glass of wine on, Saturday so that you can really kick your feet up? Decide in advance what that's going to be, and then hold yourself to it. But you don't have to go it alone. Connect with a pacing partner who's going for the same goal or a similar goal, for some accountability and for fun. It's so much more rewarding to do this alongside somebody. I mean, who's going to be that person that's going to either physically or virtually give you a high five when you do the action that you said you were going to do? You're going to feel so much satisfaction, and it's going to be way more fun to celebrate that with other people. And that, I find that accountability is really effective for me. And I'll tell you a little story too. So yesterday, as I was pushing myself to get through the end of my reach outs, I was kind of hitting a wall, and I just wanted to throw in the towel, and I was 75% of the way done. And I kind of thought to myself, I could just stop here and then finish the rest tomorrow, and no one would really know, right? Well, that's not true, because I had actually shared with, my pacing partners and accountability buddies what I was telling myself I was going to do. I had decided in advance that after I finished my reach outs for the day, I was going to have a glass of wine and if I didn't do it, I wasn't going to have the glass of wine. And I just knew if I didn't finish the reach outs, I would, one, either be sipping on that glass of wine thinking like, you don't deserve it, or, you know, and I would just feel that feeling of like, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. So I sat down, I forced myself to do it, and then it felt so good. Like the feeling of, wow, like I set this goal for how much action I was going to do, and I held myself to it. I pushed through even when I wanted to give up. That alone was so rewarding. So I want to challenge you to create this plan for yourself. Decide what you want to do. Break it down. If you need help walking through it, let me know and I would be happy to help you. But just know that you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. You are capable of so much more. And if you want it, you can go out and get it. So I hope that this is encouraging and that it makes you feel like you are empowered to set out and reach your goals, whatever they are this month. And if you aren't going for any specific goal this month, tuck this in your back pocket and have this handy so that whenever you do want to dive back in, whatever it works for you in your life, you have the tools to make it happen. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day and hope you have a fantastic weekend.